Hello, comrades, and welcome back to Severna. So it's been a while since I've done like this kind of play along video. So thought I'd do one. So I've posted recently on the Works and Resources Reddit, and there's been a few questions and that about Severna. So I thought it'd probably be easy just to explain the things all together instead of writing individual comments to give people a better sort of all overview. So one guy mentioned that he wanted to give up on building like smaller districts and focus on building like one big city, like what Savannah looks like. But that's not quite what Savannah is. Savannah is actually started off as smaller districts, and then they've kind of like merged together. Always start with separate districts that have got their own, for all intents and purposes, their own water, their own power, their own. So then when you do get into a big city, you've got like all those little nodes looking after themselves kind of thing. So the city like works as like a collective kind of thing. If you try and envision building a big city from day one, it's you're going to overbuild or you're going to reach bottlenecks. So always start with each individual district of the sort of 4 to 800 meter radius. Because if you look at Severna, you can see that each district is kind of all around the same sort of size, and that's based on walking distance of citizens primarily. But yeah, Severna started off with as there was a town here, town here, and then a town here, and that's how it started off. I'll put a visualization up now of the way that Severna grew rather, and you can see that it does start as little districts, which then expand out, and that way you know where each district's getting its water from, getting its power from. Because as you know, if you play this game up to the higher levels of population with the bigger, it does get quite difficult sort of managing all of the different infrastructure and demand in specific areas and spikes and losses and da da da. So if you have that all like merged into one big system, it's going to be really hard to like trace back issues. Especially, I find it really difficult with water. If I have a water issue, unpicking it backwards, trying to find out where that's from. So Severna primarily, each district has got its own water production. There are, obviously these areas like this aqueduct here. Well, it's not an aqueduct, but I don't know what else you'd call it, which is like a big thick chunk of supply, but that comes much later on when you merge different districts together, like what's happened obviously with Severna here. So what I'm actually doing right now is the new scarab plan. I'm wiring it in to the system, because what I want to do is I want to at least close down all of my oil power plants. So Severna, basically, its power grid's provided by so it's 8 nuclear power plants and then 2 of these combined gas turbine plants. So they're not experiencing heavy use at the moment, so it should be quite easy just to disconnect those from the grid. And there's another one here. And that's being used a bit more. So, but I think that's because that's powering the steel mill, or it's got it's nearby connection to it. So I'm going to disconnect the steel mill and connect that directly to the new nuclear power plant on Scarab Island. I always use underground wires, and I always really construct these from like currency, because it takes so long. And usually when you're fiddling about with the power grid, you're doing that because something's, you need it, so you know. So what I plan to do as well with the nuclear power plant, I'm going to draw wire it all on like the around the outside of the island. So I've already connected. Oh, I've already connected up some of it, but there's a lot of capacity left in those. And whilst those gas plants are working, and I'm also exporting quite a lot of power from those as well. Always keep all your infrastructure together, because it does again make it easier to look back through and see whether you've got any issues. I think this won't quite line up. It's one of those. Oh, come on, why won't you? That'll do. And then this one, I will connect to wherever that gas plant is actually wired in. I think these gas plants have 3 outputs, 3 high voltage outputs, so I'll connect at least one of them up. See, I don't think, even if I wanted to, I don't think you can construct stuff underwater anyway. Alright, so yeah, go to this side. Alright, so where's that gas plant there? So it's actually connected to the grid via this line here, so just disconnect that. And then wire this out into the sea. They are also very expensive underground lines. I mean, luckily Severna can afford it, but yeah, it's expensive. It can literally cost tens of millions of rubles. This will, I think. Right, there we are. So that's that. So that'll take a little while to build. So let's just see. Let's not reduce that. It must quite a lot of power must be going out of this wire. So let's disconnect that. I'll connect this to the second reactor block at the Scara plant. So this will, I'll try and keep this on the outside. went green then. Where did it go green? Come in. No, I don't. I'm going to have to go wonky. It's one of them things. It's only my OCD. There's another one. Honestly, so annoying. Okay, wire that in there. And then that is just going to that. So that's, I should be able to just disconnect that. Alright, so we'll just let those wires be built. Just want to see what happens if I completely shut this one down. We can always reactivate it if it's an issue. See, these plants are really powerful. Each one of those, I think, puts out about 4 of these. So the nuclear power plant is putting out 9,000 megawatt hour. And this can put out, see, 1,700. So yeah, these are much more powerful. So that's completely shut down now, so that's producing nothing at all. Steel mill's still operating even though it's not connected to power. I mean, I can have a look at the grid now. I was going to wait until it got dark, but I can actually look at it now to see what the voltages are. So yeah, it's not really, yeah, it's not affected anything really. See if I can get away with shutting this one down as well. So yeah, it's everywhere. It's 230. I mean, there's a little bit of fluctuation between 29 and 30 volts. But at the moment, those connections that we've made to the new nuclear power plant aren't even built yet. So yeah, the new wires aren't sending anything just yet. So right, we've got some issues here, but hopefully whatever is causing this will be corrected once these lines are connected. in yeah, this has cost literally like, yeah, so already it's cost us 10 million rubles, more or less. So it's a good idea as well is when you build big wires, right? So one's connected up. This one might not have been fully built. No. Right, so yeah, see that's, looks like that's fixed that error. That them blackouts. And then this is the wire going to the steel mill, I believe. Rain. Nearly. Wow, it does take such a long time. But it's worth it because I think it doesn't look very nice. I don't think when you've got like wires going all over the place, and it's awkward as well when you're building stuff. Right, so there's no electricity going. Ah, there we go. Boom. What's going on here? Right, let's build another one of those. Where can I connect it up though? That's why did I build that? Ah, there we are. See, one little job just turns into hours worth of work once you start noticing things. But it's good. It's good because it shows just how much work does go into maintaining such large republics. Okay. Oh, hang on. Okay. What? Hey? What have I done there? You confuse me. Alright, so let's see what that does. Why has that got no power? There we go. Alright, wise. Oh, come on. See, it's good to just go round with this view on because it really does. It's really surprising how many little errors there are. No, they're just unbuilt buildings. We'll get these built. Just want this to come on. Come on, honestly, it takes such a long time. Come on. Right. So we've managed to shut down that one and that one. That one. So now Severna is running all off nuclear, I think. Right. And what's the usage on Scarab plant? So 22 on that one, 10 on that one. Wow, these have got so much capacity. Where else would be quite simple to wire? So, I mean, what I might do as well is deactivate the nuclear power plants that are on the island. Give me a bit of room for development, but obviously it's always good to have a bit of redundancy. You don't want to 100% rely on one thing. So I'm just gonna show you. So this is the main cross line of Savannah, like the backbone. This goes from pretty much one end to the other, and then the same with this road here. So that's how it started. It was just along this line here, and then up to here. Series. This is the like the construction industry. So this is where the gravel mine is, etc. Concrete, blah blah blah. Then, so basic infrastructure of Estevan and Estevan were made with the starting money, and then with that starting money, I made series, and then North Severna here was the first district that was made using Severnan resources, construction goods, etc. And that was along with the steel mill as well. And then from once we were producing our own steel, that's when Severna Austral or Verna Australis was constructed, along with Compass Electrical, the advanced manufacturing district. And then off that, then Sabrina was made, which was the transport, the construction vehicle construction, so it's trains there and motor vehicles here. Also, Civitas was made around this time as well. And then I think then there was more development down here. I think that there was another. We started producing oil on this side of the island as well, because the oil field on Severna is all primarily in the north. There's a lot of oil, as you can see. Obviously, you need a lot of resources to create a republic like this. It was just lucky that Severna had such abundant resources. But you know, with this game, it's not just about making money or you know, it's keeping everything working as well. It's, you know, it's not like City Skylines where you could just have, you know, unlimited money and just zone and keep building. This game, you know, you really do need to plan out your infrastructure, whether, you know, you've got enough people to do something. You know, if you want to keep, you know, the happiness up in the upper levels, you know, and this is a socialist country simulator. So really, your primary is to keep people happy. the economy should be to enrich people's, to make people's lives better. People's lives shouldn't be to make an economy better. I think I kind of subscribe to the Keynesian kind, perhaps a bit more, with a bit more sort of influence on state. What's the word? State, not interaction. Can't think of the word. State, not interference either, but like interference, but the good kind of interference. I can't think of the bloody word. Yeah, so the economy should work for the people, not the other way around. So that's kind of the basis that I go on with Severna. It's citizens' needs, but of course I am lucky to have such a large supply of oil. But in obviously a more capitalist society, that the profits for that oil would be kept at the top of society, maybe with a little bit trickling down here and there, but here that wealth is either stored in the national coffers for emergencies and emergency inputs, or is put directly back into the Republic in regards to development and citizen services. So that's all for today. I'm going to try and make more videos about my philosophy and my design strategies with Savannah. But I just thought I'd put this video out there just to answer, see if it answers some of the questions, and also whether it raises any more. If there is anything that you would like to know, then do put down in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll see you another time. Bye bye.